Okay, so I guess we can get going now. So today's is the first class for our ISC2 certified in cybersecurity course, and in this class, basically we will go through two sections, right? So one section is about the overall exam, how exam looks like, and the races and some of the other things. So first section is mostly around the things that some of you might already have done, right? In terms of uh, the way we have last week went through the steps and we registered the exam together and so on, right? So, but still, I'll go through just for the sake of those who might not be able to attend it. So, I'll just quickly walk through those steps again quickly, right? Just give me a moment. Okay, 1 second. Let me set it now. Okay, so I think it looks better now. So there are two parts. First part is about the course introduction, about the exam, how to register the exam, what are the course content, what are the domains. So this is quickly we'll walk through this one, the first section. Then we'll start the actual study of our course, right? So most of guys, you know that this course is mainly the ISC2 organization which offers this certified in cybersecurity free for a while, right? There are free vouchers available at this time. They might not always be fully free, and mainly is meant for the people who want to write the exam, but they are not clear about the study material and how to study, what to study, how much to study, and so on, right? We'll quickly go through that material. And class format perspective is online class, right? There will be slide deck, most likely. There will be some discussion. We can have some more question answer session and so on, right? Feel free to ask question anytime you have some clarification, confusions. I always recommend to have your notes. Make sure you take your notes, right? Don't just rely on this slide deck because sometimes there are more things we discuss than the deck. So better to take your notes. And if you have any question, you can raise hand in Google Meet or you can just ask directly. So this is one of the things. Class punctuality is important because we don't have much time. Mostly we have around 1 hour or so, right? So it's better to be focused and punctual and on time. And I always logged in before few minutes the time. So better you guys also try to log in few minutes before the time or at least right on the time, right? So this class we agreed on 10 a.m. Eastern Canada time. So better all log in at the same time without wasting any. And class will be recorded. Attendance will try to say. I don't think attendance is really mandatory because it's only for those who are really interested. And important thing is that before taking this course, there's a networking cybersecurity fundamental course that you guys have done, right? So if you have not gone through this two slide of the networking and cybersecurity course summary, make sure that you go through that. I hope everyone has gone through that. If not, please make sure that these two courses mentioned here, this is the summary of our previous course. So everyone, please make sure that they go through that because that will help a fairly big time with the exam material, right? If you already know the stuff that we have done. And the important thing is that we will make use of free exam material, which we have done. Some of you have done. And this is one of the best exam in the industry right now from a cybersecurity perspective. A lot of people have respect for this exam, so better, make use of it. And important thing is that ISC2 repeatedly says it's an entry level exam, but to tell you the truth, it's not really a very easy exam. It's easy probably for those who do the study, who go through the material, who review the material, who have the concepts clear. Otherwise, it's not a super easy exam. I've been through exams throughout my year. I've been giving hundreds of exams, but I can tell you this is not one of the easiest exams. So make sure that you prepare well. So from the exam and course perspective, now this is important, right? So what is exam and what is course? So exam actually is 2 hour exam, right? Means 120 minutes you'll get, and you can be asked around 100 questions, right? So you have to most likely you will be writing 100 question, and out of 100 question they will decide whether you pass or fail. The passing mark is 700, means that you have to score 70% of your questions right to pass the exam. And it's an English language exam, and more importantly it's in-person exam, means that you have to go to a test center, show your IDs, and make sure that you have pre-booked the exam, and then you will write in the test center. It's not online, it's not that you are sitting at your home or doing it. It's a pretty controlled exam, and it's a pretty disciplined, pretty well thought exam. So make sure that you also do your well preparation. So 2 hours, keep in mind. So the way IC2 has designed this course, they have 5 core domains of cybersecurity, and they will be, asking question around these domains. And they have given the study material for each of these domains. So expectation is that a student will go through this study material, and they will familiarize with the concepts of these 5 domains. These security principles, BCDR and IR, access control, network security, and security operations. So these 5 domains are the, you can say, your course boundaries, right? So course outline. And from the exam perspective, you can see that from each of these domains or chapters or whatever you say it, what is the weightage, right? In exam, the first chapter, which is the security principles, it's the most heaviest chapter from the exam perspective. Around 26% of the exam is based on that. And second domain is around 10%, third domain and fourth domain is again kind of heavy. So you can imagine first, second, and first, third, and fourth is the most questions will be around. And then last one is security operation. This is not a hard and fast. They may have a little bit percentage plus minus in some cases, but this is overall a weightage, right? And approximate number of questions, you can see that this is the number of questions you may expect. But regardless, we should always prepare each of the domain well. We should be able to understand 100% concepts of these domains, and we should be able to answer these questions whenever we were asked, right? So this is all very important. And you may pass question in 75 question if you have done all right, if you have not to make any mistake. but that rarely happens, right? Because the way they have put the questions, the way they ask the questions, there's always chances of making mistakes. And for that reason, it's important to give each question the right attention, and make sure that you are able to do your best on that question. Don't take any question easy, right? And try to make every single question correct, right? This is extremely important. And for that reason, this is just to give you an idea that which chapters of which domain you should be paying most attention, or in my view, you should pay attention to every domain and make sure you understand each concept, but at least domain 1, 3, and 4 are, you can imagine, the most critical one. And if you have done through the course that we have done previously for network and cybersecurity, I think if you have gone through those concepts, and if you have idea about those concepts, then you will realize that more than 50% of this concept we already know. We already, actually more than 50, I would say more 60% of the concept we already went through, we studied about them. So this is not something very new, but there will be some new things. So for that reason, you have to go through the study material. So important thing is that all you need is to pass the exam. You have to make sure that you set few hours a day. If you are aiming to write exam in 1 month or so, which I think one of the candidate here in Hamza is going to write in about a month. So you have to make sure that you spend every day few hours, right? At least 1 or 2 hour. Then you will be all set in my view. And make sure that this class that we have arranged, you make sure you have your mental presence, make sure you show your dedication and passion, and most importantly, personal commitment and effort. Because without self motivation, your own commitment, your own self discipline, you cannot go through this exam easily, right? So it's important thing that set yourself, make sure that you set few hours every day, and you study well. I'll guide you through the material that you should study to pass the exam, but you will not pay the attention if you will not spend enough hours every day. Then definitely this exam, as I said, is not an easy exam, right? It's easy only when you uh, put yourself in a very committed way, right? So these are the steps to register the exam. I think we all have gone through these steps. Go through that. If anyone has want to register, go through these steps, right? And if you have any issues, any challenges, just let me know. Important thing is that first step is to create your account in ISC2, and you register yourself as an ISC2 candidate, and then you start filling up the forms. There are a bunch of forms. You are not clear what to do. If you are not working already, then you put yourself as a student. Education training material, you're gonna use the ISC2 direct, and there are a bunch of places that you have to do. You have to accept it. And one of the thing, and I think one more is about, probably about demographic, where you have to click on the policy, you read the policy, and then that option becomes enabled. And then second thing, you enroll in the courses, right? So that's how you enroll in the courses. You check out on the IC2 site, so they will allow that your login can see the courses, right? So they will kind of allow you to go through the courses. And then once you do that, you will see on this right side, you'll see that, right? You'll see this course in your profile. I hope you all see this course in your profile. And if you don't see that, just go directly through this link. This link you take you directly to same course study material site, right? So the first thing is about IC2 registration, course registration. Second thing is the exam registration as a Pearson VUE. As I said, it's an in-person exam, so you have to go in person. So this is the link you can register. You can go through this exam registration through IC2 site. Otherwise, you can also click on the Pearson VUE site and go from there. I think most of you already have gone through these steps. And again, if IC2 asks for certain questions, same thing, same steps which we have done previously, repeated. And you have to select the test center first, right? Whatever close to your house or your location, or wherever you want to appear. Sometimes people want to have a near to their home location. Sometimes people wants to have near to their work location. Whatever fits you, select that site. And second thing is to select the time, and then check out. And check out, it's around $200 US dollar exam plus tax So it's around 224 something dollar, right? Exam. So which if you put this voucher, then it becomes for free, right? So important thing is that this exam will require you to go in person with your two pieces of IDs, right? And your name on the IDs, at least one of the IDs, government issues ID should be the same as your IC2 registration name. So if it is not, make sure that you make the corrections for that, right? So any questions so far, or should we move forward? I think I'll just give a pause for a minute and let's see. Because I think I see some new names here. But anyways, if anyways have any question, they can always reach me offline, so, WhatsApp or something. So we can go through that steps again if required. So second thing is the study material, right? So these are the suggested studies, right? In my view, I have put these around six actually study material that we can go through. We have to go through as an student. We have to make sure that we go through these study materials to pass the exam. Uh, Although, if you are able to go through at least first four of them, I hope you should be able to pass it. To tell you the truth, it should be okay if you go through first four. But if you want to go through all six, it's perfectly fine. It's give you more knowledge, definitely. And especially the first one is the ISC2 official study material, which everyone must go through, right? There is no escape to that. The first one. Second one is the same our course that we have done, right? So you just walk through that course quickly. These are the summary of the entire courses of cybersecurity and networking we have done, and it's around, I think, around 50 slides in each. So it shouldn't take long if you have already gone through the course. So these two, I would say that is kind of mandatory, and they will help you big time. The third thing is the 40 net course. These are two free courses, and good thing is that these two free courses give you certification also, right? So you get additional certification with as you become as a 40 net certified something. So important thing is that these three will give you enough base, and then after 4 and 5 is just the revision of IC2 material, right? Whatever you have studied in the first official study material, these two just revise them, just repeat them. So just to brush up your concepts, right? Last one is good. It's pretty lengthy course of Mike Chapel. I think it's 6 7 hours course. It's pretty good course, by the way. It again give you good knowledge. 6 7 hours video on the LinkedIn Learning. I'm not sure if everyone has access to that. You can try it if you have time and you wish to learn. Definitely, so feel free to learn that. It's a good learning course. But if you are run short of time and all that, then I would suggest that go through at least first four, right? First four or first five, whatever. And if you spend, let's say, every day few hours, it has at least 1 hour, then you should be able to at least go through first five easily. Okay, this is important that you have done all of that, right? You registered through course, you registered for exam, you have done the this study, which is suggested study, right? And now you have to write the exam. So this is kind of your exam day. You go and start studying, start appearing for the exam. The very first thing that you have to do, make sure that you give yourself enough time to reach to the site. As I said, is an in-person exam, so you have to go physically exams to the exam center. So make sure that you reach on time, I would suggest at least 15, 20, or 30 minutes before the test, right? And make sure that you take two photo IDs with you. And out of these two, one of the photo ID must be the government issued photo ID. Government issued photo ID means that it could be your passport, it could be your driving license. But important thing is that it has to be a photo ID. Normally, driving license in most of the countries have a photo, so that's is well accepted photo ID. Otherwise, you have to take your passport. If you don't have your passport, then let's say in Pakistan, people have the Nadra ID card. You have to take that Nadra ID card. In US, Canada, people can take their driving license, so that's accepted. The second thing is that you should have one more ID. Then one more ID for the student. It could be your student card. and your student card in most of the colleges, universities, and schools is in is like a photo ID. So it should have your name and photo, and it's also acceptable, right? Um, in some cases, they do accept birth certificate and all that, but they normally don't have the photos, right? And second thing is that in some cases they also accept your bank cards and credit card because that have that name, because normally these the two IDs are normally the required. In some centers they may accept one ID also, but important thing is that you have to call your exam center, because when you register the exam, it gives you the exam center information, the name, phone numbers, or email ID, whatever, right? So if you are not clear, then you have to make sure that you call them after booking the exam and ask them that what two IDs you will accept, right? And you can tell them that I have my one of the IDs government issued, another ID or driving license or whatever, and second ID I don't have, or I have just school ID or whatever, right? Just talk to them, right? You have to make sure that do it now, or whenever you book the exam, maybe 1 month after, but do this part now so you don't run into last minute issues, right? So it's very important that you clear this part at least, that what IDs they will accept and you take those IDs with you. The important thing is that your ID name on your ID should match your ISC2 name, right? So make sure that if someone is first and last name are different, if you skip some part of your name, let's say someone is Muhammad Hamza Tariq, and he just write Hamza Tariq, it might cause an issue in the exam center, might not accept it. So make sure that your government ID and your IC2 registered name match. If they are not matching right now, you still have a chance. You can reach ISC2. There's an email address, you can reach them, you can say that I just made a mistake, can you please change my name same as my government ID. So they normally ask for a photocopy or scan copy. You can email them your government ID so they can see that yes, your ID name is what you want to do on ISC2 side. So make sure, right? These points are important, right? Your photo IDs and your name match on ISC2, right? This is important. You do all of that. Now, this is the thing, right? Second thing is that on once you have done all of that, you went to the site, you have shown your IDs, because what happened that on the exam day, IC2 or PSN BUE will send your names to the exam center that these candidates are going to appear in exam today, right? So your names will already be with them, and they will have the time that this time you're going to write the exam. So the moment you will go there, you show them that I have my exam, show your IDs. They will ask you to fill like a form just to say that yes, you have appeared, you came to the center, and then at time that you came to write the exam, and sign that you will accept their term and all that, right? So for that reason, reaching on time, filling up the form, showing your IDs, and you are good to enter to the exam room. Then they will take you to the exam room, and in exam room, what happens that they will set the exam. They will ask you to sit, and they will give you probably a piece of paper, or normally a plastic board to write, erasable plastic sheet to write, and so you can take your notes on that one, but you are not allowed to take any of your belongings there, right? So they won't let you take your phones or your bag or your papers, your personal belonging, none of that. Everything has to be left outside. They will give you a locker or something to keep your belongings there. You cannot take anything, right? So you have to go empty handed, empty pockets and all that, right? So they will give, here in North America and Canada, they normally give you a small locker. You can put your phone, bags, everything inside there, and so you're just empty handed, and they give you their own paper and plastic, or pen, just to take your notes during the exam if you want to, but they will again, you will not be allowed to take that home bag with you. So you have to be ready for the exam, in a sense. Everything is in your mind, is your brain, in your heart, but you cannot take any physical belongings at the time of exam. Again, I would say that this is not an easy exam. It's easy only if you prepare well, right? And there are many times you will might stuck on questions. Questions might not be clear to you, but that's fine. Important thing is that you have to make sure you time it well. You time it in a way that You have 2 hours to complete the exam. You have around 100 questions to attempt. So you have to make sure that you time in a way that how much time I can spend on each question. Let's say you start and you first few questions were super easy. You just click, click, click. And after that, just hard questions came. You have to make sure that you give yourself enough time to read those questions which are not clear, read them twice, and try to understand the concepts. So not all the questions will be easy, right? Not all the questions will be difficult. They will be mixed. They will be familiar question. They will be unfamiliar question. But that's normal, right? That happen in most of the exam that we do. A lot of questions comes unfamiliar to us, but that's normally fine. The approach or strategy for those questions which sounds or seems like a little bit difficult or hard, just read it twice. Just read it twice or thrice or whatever, right? Just read the question couple of times and see what they're trying to ask. Just try to understand what is the end result what they are expecting in the question, and then try to use your common sense, right? And see what are the worst answer, what is those choices which cannot be answered at all, right? So it's called method of elimination. Just eliminate whatever is not a possibility, and then see in the leftover options, just pick the best. So this is normally the common sense plus method of elimination, and just use your logic. I'm I've seen that in exam that probably not all the study material that will cover. There will be some questions which might not feel like they're coming from study material. So expect some unknowns. But at the same time, just go through those questions, read them twice and thrice, use your logic and whatever the technology understanding you have so far, and method of elimination, just to avoid what could not be an answer, and then pick the best from the rest of the available options. So these are the best approaches, and hopefully if you have gone through the study, if you give yourself enough time, then you should be able to pass the exam. But important thing is that time it well, because time flies. I know that when you're stuck on a question, you are not clear on the answer, you are just trying to read, don't kill yourself. Just see that, okay, I have, let's say, 3 minutes to spend on this question, I cannot spend anymore, just pick the best answer, go. You must have to make sure that you have to attempt all the 100 questions, right? It's not that you are on 70 or 80 question and time is completed, right? So this is to the worst case scenario, I would say that, because if you are attempting 100 question, there's a chance you will pass. If you're attempting 70 or 80 question, I can simply tell you that you will fail. It's not easy that if you attempt 70 or 80 questions, you will pass, because 70 is the minimum, right? If you attempt 70 questions, there are chances that there will be some wrong answers in them along the path, right? So you have to make sure that you time in a way that you go through all the 100 questions, right? So this is super critical, super important, that uh, people, this is where people is stuck, right? They sometimes say that we are doing well, we know that stuff, but we were able to attempt only 80 questions or 85 questions, and we left 15 questions, and then they failed very close margin, right? Instead of 700, they come up with 680, 690, something like that. So but that's the way it is, right? So that's the reason these tips are very important, that you guys have to make sure that uh, uh, you time it well, we prepare it well, and if something comes unfamiliar, unknown, new stuff, don't worry, it happens. Just go through the question, use your logic, use your brain, use your common understanding, and use your common sense. Common sense always prevails. Keep in mind, if you technology is the second thing. First thing comes is your common sense. So for anything that you do in your life, make sure that you use your common sense. And again, keep learning. This is very important, right? So learning is the only way to grow in the life, right? So good luck with the exam. So this first part was mainly about the exam and the how to prepare for the exam and so on. This is all you can say that mainly just an overview of what we are going to do in the actual learning sessions, right? If anyone any question, just feel free to ask me now.